Welcome to the most overrated, underappreciated, most viewed, underviewed podcast of all time. Welcome to. Wait. I said welcome to the Prince of Fresh Air. I am, of course, the most charismatic man. We are back. We are live after a long week of battling COVID. COVID couldn't stand with the most charismatic man, and we are back. Feels good to be healthy again. All seriousness. And before we get into the episode, just a couple things. As we end the year 2023 going into 2024, I am very blessed and thankful for all the listeners, supporters around the world. We are reaching new highs. We are reaching new countries. We're expanding, we're growing, and it's all because of you. So thank you for continuously to turn into this podcast and make this shit your top podcast. And one other thing too, I just did a piece, and shout out, no pun intended, to Shout Out LA magazine. They did a piece for me. Just went out a couple weeks ago, so I'm glad to share that with the world. Go check that out. Read that. 3 articles this year. I'm going for a record next year, and I'm just thankful for a great year. And I want you guys to know that when you leave comments, when you reach out about the podcast, it means a lot. So continuously do that. Leave voice notes through the Spotify for Podcasts app. Let me know your comments and your thoughts. Rate the show. Let's make this interactive. Let's make this part of the family. There's podcasts on YouTube as well now. So if you like the video stuff and you don't really use Spotify, you can check it out on YouTube. All full episodes on there as well. And with that further ado, before I bring on my guests, I one thing, before I started recording, I got an email from Jason Momoa, and he's like, hey, Percy, I hear you're going to replace me as Aquaman. I told him, my security will get back to him. I don't deal with that type of stuff. I have a team behind me for that. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I've been chatting enough. Let's bring on Rich. He don't need any introduction. He's been on this podcast so much. I need to start charging him. But welcome, Rich. How you doing, man?
Well, yeah, my name is Rich. I am also the guy that says he's Santa and bangs your moms. So that's that. I'm good, man. I'm good. Kind of a chilly day, but we already talked about the weather off the recording. But
yeah, absolutely. Before we get into the episode, I know we was talking a little bit before I hit the record button. But
which time?
Oh God, you're right. It's not my fault. Tom Cruise, everybody calling me. Everybody want a piece of the most charismatic man. Hey, look, I'm the most in-demand person in Hollywood right now. So, what can I say?
No wonder they went on strike.
I ain't going. Well, no, I did. I stand with the strike. But before we get into the episode, we was talking about health and all that stuff, and I think it's important. I think not just for us, but for other people. I know a lot of people have an idea. Listen to us all the time. We always have a lot of energy, but we have times where we do get sick, and you've talked about your health before. But recently, like I was saying earlier, I had COVID last week, and it was my first time catching it. It took me a week or so to get over it. But you recently, how's things been with you?
Yeah. So, I have been pretty shitty with taking care of my diabetes. Not gonna lie. We have a carb heavy kind of diet at the house, and anyone that knows anything about diabetes and those that don't, here's your learning tree. So sugar is bad. there's a bunch of sugar in carbohydrates, and that converts to sugar, which will drive up your blood sugar. So by proxy, doing that for as long as I was, my levels became about 3 times what they should be, and that was where I felt okay. So anyone that's had low blood sugar, uh, you get lightheaded, you get a little nauseous, you just get tired. It just it's that feeling of like, oh my god, I gotta eat, but you don't have those tummy rumbles, right? So if you can kind of make that connection, go ahead. So, got a new doctor, and she was like, "Hey, look, man, um, if you keep doing this, you're going to be on dialysis in 5 years."
No.
I'm 37, so that would mean by 43, I'm going to be going to a doctor to have like transfusions done. Like that's not a way to live. So that was a bit of my come to Jesus moment. So now I'm on a daily insulin, and basically what it's doing is it's regulating my body and trying to bring down the numbers. But your body, just like anything, it tries to push back. It tries to go. It's like when you're sick, your body does what it needs to do to fix it to get back to normal. Well, my body is so accustomed to being so high, it's fighting with that ability of that medicine to bring it down. So my body is essentially on a roller coaster of feeling okay, then feeling bad. And yeah, it's a bit of a process. It's not fun, it's not enjoyable, but thinking about the alternatives, I think that's much better than being hooked up into machines getting, whatever kidney stuff that they do. Because I've already had a conversation with the wife before this even happened. If I ever get to the point where I'm on dialysis, let me go. Like, don't let me go to dialysis. Let me go. Because I'm not going to just exist. That's not a way to live. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing I wanted to talk about because I do have family who are on dialysis. I have a cousin right now. He's been in the hospital for a month and a half now because he can't take care of himself. I think at one point his blood sugar got so low his aide found him, lying on the floor, and he couldn't move. And I think, these conversations, the reason why I want to talk about this is, like I said, people often, when they listen to your podcast or when they listen to you come on and vice versa, me, even though I may not have as you call a serious health condition, but it's important for people to understand, like, yeah, even though we have fun and we joke, we do have lives outside of this.
I'm
And
dying. Like, I'm literally dying. Like, that's the reality of it. Take that shit serious. It is not a fucking joke, man. Like, this will kill you. And, um, I'm married to she's technically a nurse, but she's like I don't know, she's kind of like the HNIC kind of in the deal. Like, she's on the top of the food, not the top of the food chain, but that bitch is eating. So, um, and she has a dilemma, man. Like, she wants to see me happy, she wants to see me alive, but how I was living, those two things don't coincide. Like, it's Christmas, there's candy everywhere. This is like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? This is like a crackhead going into, like, remember that Chappelle show, that the free crack giveaway?
oh
Like,
yeah,
that's essentially what it is. And you can't say like, well, I have diabetes, so the kids can't have anything. You can't. No, you know what I mean. So it is. I tell people this all the time, and I'll let you go. Sorry, I'm kind of passionate about it because it's like, yeah, it's this thing that's gonna kill me. So I need to, like, know. Um, I've always believed, since I've gotten this is more of a mental disease than a physical disease. You struggle. It's literally like being a drink. Sugar's a drug, man. Like, that's what it
yeah,
is. Sugar's a
yeah.
drug. And I've eliminated bread out of my diet, which, okay, not a big deal, but if you think about it, breaded chicken, I'm not eating that. You want some toast? Nah. You want some waffles? Nah. So many things you have to readjust. And I know there are alternatives, but I've done that before. And you know what I do? I do the alternative for about a week, then I slowly transition into the other stuff again. So this time it's easier for me mentally. Nah, just don't. Just leave it be. Don't let that be your quote unquote gateway drug. So anyone out there that um, has it or is dealing with a family member, I'm not the end all be all, but and I'll put my information down here too. I'll give it to this weird haired douche. Um, reach out, like, because I'm a real deal Holyfield kind of person, and I'm dealing with it. So if you got questions, concerns, you want to just kind of have a comrade in the fight, let me know.
Absolutely. No, that's well said and well spoken. And I think these conversations are, when even though we have jokes and we laugh and all that stuff, we should have moments like
We're
this
real people.
we're real because, like, for Thanksgiving when it's my, I haven't had Thanksgiving with my family for a couple of years. And this is the first time my cousin is actually full blown in the hospital, and he was still
That's
reaching out.
sad,
Hey,
man. I'm sorry.
Um, we're praying for him, and he keeps his spirits up, but he's still the same guy. He always want a piece of cheesecake, banana pudding. He still want the sweets, and it is good to the point though where like my mom is telling him, like, hey, we can't keep giving you this stuff. You're already in the hospital for this, and
right.
And I think one of the things you spoke about, which is important, it is our diets. We live in a very uh a culture now where all the food is highly processed, a lot of additives, a lot of preservatives put into the food, and our diets are carb heavy. And even for me, I had to look at myself. During this before the summer, I was looking at myself. I was working out and stuff, but I was eating a lot of McDonald's. I was eating a lot of Domino's. I was eating a lot of cheesecake. I need cheesecake. I could use a slice, but I had to regulate how I was eating because even though I am, young, I'm still in my 20s. I do realize that if I keep eating bags of chocolates in the matter of a couple days, if I keep eating Domino's and McDonald's every day, it's going to catch up to me too. And I think sometimes we feel because you're still young, we think that because we're young, we could get away with it. But in reality, it catches up to you at some point. Somebody at some point realized, man, it's too late. I thought I was going to be able to outwork this diet. I was going to, just have a piece of chocolate here and there. But then, next thing you know, they reaching for bomb bags of Reese's Pieces, and then they buying all this junk food. That's just our society. And let me ask you, because this does tie into it, and we actually was going to have a whole different conversation, but I actually want to talk about this. Do you think
what happens when I get on this podcast, homie?
Happens all the time, and this is why I don't script this stuff because you never know what's going to happen. But I want to ask you because I was talking to somebody recently about inflation, right? And inflation is a big deal. I went to the store the other day to get a pack of eggs, a dozen of eggs, $6, right? When you look at, for a lot of people, $6 is a lot of money for 12 eggs, especially if you don't have a family. If you have a family, that's not really doing much for you. So when you look at your grocery bill, even for me, I look at my grocery bill now. I used to be able to get a lot more food for a cheaper price. Now I'm getting less food for more money. And for a lot of people, they look at it like, hey, why would I get $6 for eggs when I could get, 3 bags of chips and some dip? Do you think that food costs is one of the contributing reasons why so many people are having those high carb, high sugar
this
diets?
is before inflation, man. Like, it's always been the quote unquote healthier food is more expensive, and the cheaper food is one quicker, easier to get, easier to make, quicker to make because they count on the busyness of us as a people, right? And how it is much easier to be lazier and just go to, man, I am not trying to spend this time cooking these 6 chicken breasts for the family, whatever. I'm just about to, yeah, listen, let me go on the app real quick. I'm going to go down and grab the Donald's and be done. Well, here's the thing. You think about the time you spent going through the app, picking what you're going to do, seeing what all the kids want, what the family wants, yada, yada, yada. Then, driving down or getting it delivered, sitting in the drive-thru. You could have been done cooked. So it comes down to you just being lazy, to be
Mhm.
honest. And I
Yeah.
hate to say it that way. Well, actually, I don't. Fuck you guys. Um, it comes down to you being lazy, and you'll. It's kind of like the whole spend money to make money kind of deal, because
Yeah.
it's accrued equity. You take care of your body, right? You spend that extra. Let's say it took an extra 5 minutes to cook that compared to what it would be to go down to the app, get delivered, whatever. You think about how much better you're gonna feel. You know how you feel after you eat McDonald's?
Yeah.
Gross. Like
Yeah.
it's it's like you woke up next to the big chick. It's like, oh God, what did I do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not a good thing. So
Those sausage McGriddles, though, I gotta say, once in a while I gotta have that. But
I get it. And look, I completely understand that. But if you think about it, how easy is that to make at the house?
that's true. Yeah.
Like, and then you'll know, hey, look, I know I'm putting something better in my body that, one, I handle. First of all, first and foremost, you don't have no pimple faced teenager playing around with your food. You don't got to worry about that. Two, it's you. It just feels better. Like, it's gonna feel better going in. It's gonna feel better coming out.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's and it's funny because I can say this and I sound like a douche doing it because I'm like on the soapbox, but I lived that life, man. Like, I made those stupid decisions, and that didn't contribute to diabetes. It's more of like a genetic thing,
Right.
as much as you. Because I always make a joke with the wife. I'm like, I just stop eating the carbs, start eating. That doesn't cause it. Um, it's genetic. It's a coin flip. God hates me, obviously. So that's what happened. No, I don't know if he hates me. What he might. I don't know. We it's like a Tupac Biggie thing. I don't know. Um,
Everybody loves you, Rich.
yeah. Well, that's sad because
Besides
I'm.
me, of course.
Yeah, well, that's because I banged your mom, so it's fine. I get it. Yeah. I mean, I've lived that life, and I've had to make changes, and it's a different way of thinking, and yeah, it's going to cost you more money, but you know what costs you more money later down the road? Diabetes medicine.
Yeah.
Insulin. Insulin costs me like $80 a month. The whole
Dialysis.
the right, the whole freestyle. I have like that freestyle Libre thing they stick onto you that always measures you. That's $80. So that's not including the other medicine. So let's just call it 200 a month. All right. I'm spending 200 a month on diabetes medicine. You think about what you could do now currently with $200 at the grocery store.
Right.
So next question. Type it. You know what I mean? Like the numbers are there. Don't be lazy. Take care of yourself because it sucks. This is not a fun experience. I regret it. I mean, is it necessarily my fault? Probably contributed to it. I probably didn't help matters, but the cards are dealt. But you got to take care of your body, man, because your family loves you, your kids love you. You want to be around for them. You want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to check out early. You get one chance at this. I don't care if you believe in reincarnation or not. I don't. I don't care. You get one chance. Take care of yourself, man. Cook.
Absolutely. That really, I 100% agree with you. I think
About,
our
about to
society.
fucking crying over here and shit. Jesus Christ.
No, but we should have these conversations. These are, and that's why I'm trying to make it fun. I don't want people to feel all somber, in the car, teary eyed. But
Yeah,
this is a
whatever.
reality, though. I think especially now around the holidays, a lot of people get together. We all know what's coming: the
Yeah.
sandwiches, the desserts, all that stuff, and I think it's easy. I don't think I'm at the age where I'm really going to start taking 100% care of my body, which I do now. I do, but I think it is important for people to realize it. The choices you make does have an impact. Even for me, I noticed even just health issues aside, my weight. This the leanest, this the smallest I've been this year. And
Yeah.
it really becomes a mental battle, right? Because it's easy when you're in the grocery store checking out or you're looking at food. Oh, I get this pint of ice cream. Oh, I could get all these chips. I'll tell you, if you look at what I used to order, half of this year, a lot of Doritos, a lot of Pringles, a lot of bags of Reese's cups, a lot of ice cream, a lot of cheesecake, and I was sneaking the salad here and there, thinking I'm fooling myself. But I saw the weight gain eventually. I started seeing, when I'm on camera, all the faces droop, and it's taking me more effort to walk up the stairs. And I have asthma too. I've been born with it. I've had it all my life. I notice when I'm not taking care of myself, even at the age of 28, I'll notice a difference, especially
Hey, you're
when I
still a
start
young
getting.
man.
But
I mean, look, you want to see something that diabetes does to you?
what?
That tooth?
Uh, got the
Yeah,
hockey play. You can say your
yeah.
hockey play.
That's because my blood sugar was so high.
I believe my cousin's
Like,
husband. Yeah, my cousin's husband. He luckily he got a kidney transplant 2 years ago. But I remember from high school until then, I used to see him all the time because he had diabetes and he was on dialysis. The health issues just it racked up for him, and I think I was talking to him about that. I remember he was telling me, he's like, take care of yourself. You think you're young and invincible now, but eventually it all adds up,
nope.
and it does. And I think, unless I'll be honest, I don't go to the doctor all the time. I don't. Last time I went was
You're
for
a guy.
asthmatic.
It's normal.
It's normal. Like I said, I won't. I don't know. Maybe in my 30s, when I start having a family, I might take care of myself in that regard. But diet wise, I could to be fair, I can understand why a lot of people see the cheaper option, right? Because if money's tight, you're on a budget, you don't have
Right.
the influx. Like my brother, he goes to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, and he'll do that. But I also know the reality that not everybody has that money to do that. A lot of people can't afford, to spend $100 just on, 6 items. I gotta eat.
But
I
you know
need
what?
food.
No, stop. No. I don't want to hear that because you know what? Here's the thing. You can and obviously look, New York is silly, so you add
Yeah.
that into it. But so look, my wife is the tits. She is she is she's real good at what she does, and um, she's changed the whole diet in the house, and it's good stuff. Like you legitimately bought a thing of Tyson chicken titties for like 12 bucks, or it was like $11 for like
Right.
I don't know how many. I don't. It may have been 2 pounds. Whatever. Put that in a crock pot. Got some baby red potatoes. That was like $4. Got some carrots, which were like $2, and put it in the crock pot. Put a few spices in it. 6 hours. You come up with a meal. Let's just say we got a family of 4, so it lasted all last night. But let's say you're a single person. You legitimately just could have had dinner for for 4 days right there. And that cost you $20. So it's about shopping smart and actually, you know what helps? Making a menu. Making a menu. If you go into the restaurant just raw dogging it, that's when you
Yeah.
come out with like
Mhm.
some dumb shit. You're like, what did I do? Like, oh, I spent so much money for nothing. And you look in your bag and you got a 6-pack of Mountain Dew and like, you know, oh God, what is it? The pizza. Oh Christ, what is it? Not
The Tostinos.
no. That's what I thought of too. Y'all know what we're talking about. Say it and tell us in the comments because we're stupid. But you come
Amen.
up with a frozen pizza, yada yada yada. You get home, you ain't got no goddamn vegetable. You have nothing to actually cook other than putting something in the oven that's from the freezer. Shop smarter. Yeah, inflation sucks. I get it. Life's hard. Get a helmet. It's out there for everyone. But you think about what you just spent on the McDonald's app. You know, you paid for a small order delivery fee, a small order fee, a transaction fee, a fuck you fee. Um, you know, it gets to you, and you got like a Big Mac and fries and a drink, and this shit costs you like $21 after everything. Like, think about what you just did. You just put something gross in your body that you're gonna get the bubble guts from anyway, and didn't really do too much for you except it was a super carb heavy, and you're gonna be hungry in about a few hours, and now you have to make a decision for tomorrow. What are you gonna do now? You know what I mean? Like it's 4-1 on what you could have spent, what you could have done, and it's not only that you don't have to cook it. You know what the prep on that meal was? About a minute and a half. Like, I could send you the recipe. It's fire. It's like a chicken pot. It's like a chicken roast kind of deal. It's fire, and I don't know. I guess the best thing that ever could have happened to me was getting diabetes because it makes me think smarter. It makes you. You're forced to. You had that come to Jesus meeting, but you really have to be, and you're forced to be, and you want to be cognizant of what you're doing and be smarter. But yeah, sorry, soapbox moment, man. I didn't mean to like cut you off, but I absolutely meant to cut you off.
No, of course. Everybody cuts off the black man. No.
yeah, it's like a horror movie.
Exactly. No, you're right. I think it is at some point. It is a choice, and as hard as it is, like I said, I've seen the grocery prices go up lately. I'm like, how can people afford? But at the same time, it's funny because even at my job, I was talking to a couple people, and they always joking, yo, you always eating a salad, yo, come on, we got cheeseburgers, you can order anything you want. But for me, it's not. I could do that. I could ask them for 2 double cheeseburger with fries. I could do that, but realistically, I need to make sure that. Well, to be honest, it's more so the fact that I am in the entertainment industry, so I want to make sure I stay in shape. Right. But again, it's I will treat myself. Usually on Saturdays, me and my girlfriend, we have our ritual Saturdays. I'll go to McDonald's. We'll get ourselves a meal. Maybe once every week, we might order DoorDash. Five Guys, not that type of Five Guys. Get your mind out the gutter, but. We will enjoy, but during the other 5 days,
I'm gonna name you Adam.
I'm not entertaining this. But
but she is.
Amen. But you definitely have to be cognizant of that, and I think one of the issues, or I would say one of the things that's maybe going to change, but I don't think so. Food delivery, and we was having this conversation last time.
Yeah, we did
about DoorDash,
tipping. I think what was it? Tipping culture. Yeah.
Now, recently,
check that out. It was a good episode, by the way. Y'all also realize that I'm a dick.
Yeah, it was an amazing episode. I like that one. And recently, it's funny. Last week, I believe, New York passed a law that delivery workers, their wages go up. So now. DoorDash, all the couriers, they're raising the fees and prices of food and delivery fees. But do you think that food delivery culture, I think because of the pandemic, it made it a norm? Do you think that that's another contributing factor?
Absolutely. It's the lazy thing again. Like look, generally now look, you're in New York, so I don't know if you even need a car. To be honest,
no.
Yeah, I figured you could just walk a few blocks and you got, a mini plaza or whatever you want. Obviously, there's a lot of other places that you need transportation to get here, there, and everywhere. Fine, that's great. I would say this because there is that they're not doing DoorDash from 15 miles away. No. So. Here's the stupidity of you, not you, but you as people, by using DoorDash. It's a limited distance away. If you have a car, you are a fucking idiot. Because you could just go there. You could just go there. But you would rather pay about $10 extra in fees for them to come to you. So here's my challenge to you. Not you, but you as people. Next time you want to do DoorDash, next time you want to order out, make yourself make the decision to get in the car and go get it. So while you're making that decision, you're going to think, do I really want to do this? And what's going to happen is that laziness that made you want to do DoorDash is going to supersede, or no, the laziness of you not wanting to get in the car and drive and get ready is going to supersede the laziness of you wanting to do DoorDash. So hopefully you just have like a, man, whatever, man, I'm just going to cook. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's you're almost trying to like trick yourself. Like use the other, like you're fighting your lazinesses against each other. I don't know. It seems like a silly thing to me. Now, if you don't have a car, if you're in a situation, I get it. And whatever, you burnt the food. Okay, there are certain situations, but you will trick yourself into doing it because you're like, oh yeah, well the game's on. Let me go. You could go cook while the game's on, man. It's fine.
Yeah. No, you're right. You know, it's funny. I was watching the YouTube. I actually like her, Shelby Church. Shout out to her. She actually recently she did a video talking about that. How she compared her food delivery costs to when she actually grocery shops and budgets. And if you think about it, when you spend $50, $60 on that delivery ordering, chances are you're not gonna have leftovers. And if you do, how much you actually leaving over?
You are
That's
not
$30 a
ordering
meal.
from Outback, man. You're ordering for some bullshit. Don't even play with me.
No, you're right. And if you think about how much you're going to spend on that meal, maybe it might be a little easier. I know sometimes it's a little hard to think about it, but think about I could just go to the grocery store and get the same ingredients, maybe even switch out a couple things, and it'll be half the cost, not even. Maybe even a quarter of the
and
cost.
healthier.
I think those choices are there, but again, I think our society has made us lazy, from technology to the convenience of everything being delivered. Now, granted, I wouldn't call myself lazy, but I get my groceries delivered mostly because
I live fine. That's
you
actually fine. I have no qualm. You're not paying an upcharge other than the delivery fee. I have zero problems with that. That is perfectly fine.
Well, for me, it's more so. So being on the Upper East Side, the grocery stores around here don't get me started on the cost. If I bought everything I wanted from these stores, I'd be having a monthly budget. I'll be spending like $500-$600. I'm not trying to do all that, but I found other ways to. Okay, if I need eggs, if I need, I'm a big tuna guy, so I get a lot of seafood tuna. I eat the same meals generally. For me, I keep the same meals throughout the week because I know how much calories I'm eating, how much sugar I'm consuming. And I think if people actually calculated their macros, I know bodybuilders and stuff, they do that. That's not an everyday thing for me. But when you figure out, wow, I'm actually eating way more calories than I thought. When you snacking on a couple chips or maybe a cheeseburger, and then you're drinking a Starbucks coffee or a frappuccino, those it adds up. And until you calculate and actually see it, wow, I'm actually eating 600 grams of carbs. And I did that a couple months ago. I was like, wow, I'm actually eating a lot more food than I thought. It is a problem, but I think the convenience of having everything delivered has made people lazy, because you're not walking.
I'll do you one better. You don't even have to count up the calories. You don't have to do all that. Switch it up for 1 week and come back and tell me how you feel. How you feel. Like, to circle back to the diabetes thing, right? One thing, you're always thirsty for blood sugars high. I'm not always thirsty anymore. Like, I'm not feeling like I'm trying to, like, fill up my camel hump with water. I have more energy because you're putting better things in your body and you're not your body isn't basically working against itself. Well, I mean, mine is because the medicine thing, but in normal circumstances, you're just fighting an uphill battle. So it feels like your internal body always feels like it's sick, because if you've ever been sick, you know how tired you are. It's not because the sickness makes you tired. It's because your body is fighting so hard and expending so much energy trying to fight off the sickness. So do it for a week. You don't have to write it down. You don't have to be one of those weird people, because it's not going to work for you. It normally doesn't work for anybody that does that. It sounds good in theory, but you're not doing that. Just not to be a dick here, but be smart about what you're doing. You don't have to go there with like, oh well, I'm gonna go all keto or I'm gonna go all vegan. No, man, just buy some extra protein at the store. Buy some vegetables. Don't go to the frozen section. It's not hard. It's not hard. Put the effort in.
Well. You could go to the frozen section. Just be careful what you chew. Like, I get frozen fruit and frozen vegetables.
But you think, but the normal person's gonna think a frozen section. What they're gonna think of pizza. They're gonna think
pizza, ice cream,
chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
It's like, stop doing it, man. You're gonna fucking die. Like, it's this. I'm sorry to be cussing so much, but if you ever listen to the podcast, you know what this is. We're grown men. It happens. Especially when I'm fired up. You're lucky. I'm trying to censor myself. This ain't my pod.
It's all right. The ad revenue was out the door anyway.
Oh, that's fine. Cool. Great. Fuck you, broadcasters or advertisers. We don't need your penny. Yeah. I just I think before I go any further, I think this is a really, really good episode. I think this is informative. It's almost like you're getting a testimonial, like a real testimonial that's coming from the heart. That, like, look, I'm just a dude up in Pittsburgh that made some bad decisions and had some bad luck genetically, and this is my fight. This is my story, and this is my thoughts on how to be better and how we can be better as a society. Y'all are fat. That's what it is. Y'all are fat. That's what makes you fat. That bullshit that you're eating, that makes you fat. Luckily enough, I'm a diabetic, and I'm 5'10", 185. I'm not in bad. No, I'm not in bad shape. I'm not that diabetic picturesque person. I'm like, just really, I'd say a normal size. Probably a little barrel chested, but just a normal looking guy. Like, you wouldn't think, oh, that dude's definitely a diabetic. It's more like, hey, that guy's probably an asshole. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, definitely. You just, I guess my message is, I want, and this is how I operate as a person. I want people, I'm not being a martyr, but I want people to be better and take care of themselves. And you can shop smarter. You don't have to spend $400 at the grocery store. You can be smart. A game plan before you go into it. Think of it as a sport. You don't go into the game without a game plan, do you? No, you don't wing it. Think about what you're doing, especially if you've got family. Come on, man, be smarter. What are you doing?
Yeah. These are honest, true conversation I like to have, because it humanizes you, right? How many people would have, and the first episode, maybe even last episode, well, not so much last, but the first one, people like, oh, look at this guy Rich, he always cursing, he think he's funny, but then you realize, oh, well, this guy's actually a decent person,
Also, I am funny, damn it. I don't think I'm funny.
Well,
I know I'm funny.
Depends how you define. No.
No, I appreciate it, man, and that's true. Like, I'm an onion of a person, man. Like, I am very real. I got no problem saying this. I love you, my dude. I appreciate you.
Oh, this ain't Brokeback Mountain. Come on, no.
I'll break your back, baby. I appreciate the opportunities you've given me. I think we've definitely garnered a friendship. It's one of those deals where when you get to have a good conversation with someone, you have good energy with somebody, you get to be fully who you are. And I don't really hide anything I am. I am multifaceted. I'm silly. I'm intelligent. I'm goofy. I'm in depth. I'm passionate. Like, I have a bunch of different things about me. But generally speaking, I usually come across as brash and silly.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, I love episodes like this because it humanizes people, and that's one of the things I wanted to start doing this year. Because I think sometimes the personality, even for me, the most charismatic man and all this stuff, I think sometimes it can rub some people the wrong way, and I want people to realize, when I do.
Wait, why? Why would that rub people the wrong way?
Because I think that when you're too brash, too confident, is viewed as a negative. And I don't think that's true. I think
Fuck off, Karen.
I agree. And I look at it this way. I tell people, when you have confidence in yourself, and you know what? And I think that's what it comes down. I think a lot of people don't have confidence in themselves, and
Right.
and that's no knock on them, because I was that 1.2.
You gotta
That's
get
why
there.
you gotta get, and that's why, like, when I do these when I do articles with these magazines and stuff, that's one of the things I stress about. When I say a helping hand is a better hand, when I talk about myself, I want people to realize I wasn't always the most charismatic man. I wasn't always the Prince of Fresh Air. 4 years ago, I didn't have all of this.
Right.
It took me until, I would say, maybe a little bit after the pandemic to really find who I was as a person. And
Yeah.
I want other people to find that with themselves too. That's why, like, even though we have fun and I want to make these episodes funny and enjoyable, but we also have honest conversations, because I think a lot of times people will come on and they don't realize, wow, I'm actually having like last episode, we was talking about tipping. Who would have thought that you would have became passionate about that? But that's because when we sit down, and that's what I mean. It's like I try to have conversation that humanize people, because I don't want people to always say, "Oh, here come Rich."
Yeah.
Now they look at you like, "Wow, he actually has insight. He actually has a backstory I can appreciate, or I'm going through the same thing he is, and I understand how he feels, and it's nice to hear somebody I can relate to." That's what it's all about,
Yeah. Coming together. That's what it is. It's really just coming together as a people.
Yeah, like Five Guys. Well, no.
Golly. You know what I'm mad about? I mean, that is an absolute my line. You son of a bitch. Oh my God.
Come on, you gotta be quick on your feet around me. Come on.
That was so beautiful. We just end now. Like, I feel like there's no better way to end the podcast than that. Holy shit.
I'm quick on my feet.
But
Rich, we had a great conversation.
We did. And I appreciate you letting me come on and cuss a bunch and be passionate.
I'll plug your stuff, but if you want just one more time to plug, your YouTube and your podcast and everything, just so.
I don't even know the YouTube URL, but so it's the X's and O's podcast. It's the X's and O's of Life podcast. I'll send you the YouTube. I think it's pretty much my name. I don't pay enough attention to it, to be honest with you. I'm so used to putting in the show notes that I'm really shitty about this, so I'll get better with that. I will say I will be creating a website in the next few weeks. So from that point on, I'll be able to just then plug the website, and that's where everything is going to be. But I'll make sure to give you the show notes or the URL and everything. And yeah, if you could subscribe, cool. Great. If you just want to listen a few times, cool. Any interaction I love. I appreciate it. Not many people comment. They don't. Not gonna lie to you. And I love to talk about stuff. So if you want to, cool. If you don't want to, cool. There ain't no harm, no foul. I'm not for everybody. But we have a football podcast too, which is coming to an end as well. So if you're a football fan, go ahead there. But yeah. I'm not going to plug on my stuff. I don't like talking about myself. It's weird, even though that's how it's going to make me, relevant. But it's weird.
You'll get the hang of it at some point.
Eventually, yeah. It's not my. I'm usually not having to plug anything. I'm like, oh yeah, wait.
Yeah,
It sounds
yeah,
so easy when
absolutely.
you listen to other people do it. It's like, oh shit, that sounds official. I'm like, go to the interwebs and Google my name. Actually, if you do, this is actually what's pretty crazy, and I don't know if I told you this. If you Google the X's and O's of life, we're the first hit that comes up on Google.
Nice.
I'm like,
You
oh
joining
shit,
the
look at
ranks.
me. And I did it through a few different people, even a few different people that don't even listen to the podcast, so it's not even in like their algorithm. I'm like, oh word, hey,
Yeah. I it's crazy because that first time I realized I was at work like a month ago, and one of the residents, this dude was like what 87, and he's like,
what?
hey, yeah, 87, and he was like, I was walking past, he's like, hey Percy, I found you on Google. I said, really? He's like,
Hey,
yeah. When you, that's how you know you're making it, when you
listen,
get the.
like I don't even know if that really means that or not, but I was a little hyped. I'm like, oh shit, like that's super cool. Like that means something to me. I don't know what it means, but it means something to me.
It means that you're going in the right direction. That's how I look at it. I think some people might look at it as a. I tell people, oh, where can I find your website, or just type in my name and it'll come up. You self-set. No, it's not that. I'm
No,
proud
it's
of.
easier to find me. Do that.
It's easy, and I've been doing this since 2010. Well, outside the podcast, so it's nice to know that people can actually find my work and find
Right,
me without me sending my Instagram handle. No, you can just
right.
look up my name and you'll find my website, any articles I've done, my IMDb.
And I
It's
forgot all about that. Like I forgot all about saying that, but until we talked about that, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. You could just Google the name of the podcast. It's right there.
well, not everybody could do that. So
Yeah.
that's an achievement. That's the thing. It's when you get to that point when you can actually be searchable. That's when it's like wow, because a lot of people can't.
Like, what does that mean though? Like, what causes that? We have about 104 episodes up
I
for
think
the pod, so I don't
it
know what
could.
that actually means.
So I think with that, because if you're on so many different, if you're on a certain amount of platforms, especially the bigger ones, I think
Yeah.
it'll start picking up a little bit. But
Okay.
I think when you actually start posting more consistently, the algorithm picks it up, and the more
Okay.
people watch, the easier. So like, I'll know, like 3 years ago when I used to search my name, you might get one result. Now you get my Instagram, my IMDb, my podcast,
Yeah.
interviews I've done. When you type in my podcast name, you get every link. You get my IMDb. You get the same. So
It
I
was
think
interesting. I did football, and that's the name of our football one, and that came up with a bunch more hits plus like YouTube videos. And what's crazy is there's actually other podcasts out there named Football, and we were still number one. I'm like, what?
it's probably because when you're picking up traction and people are watching it. Because I was doing a little research on this because I do all my website stuff myself, and I think it's a matter
I'm gonna need your
of
help with that a little bit, so I might reach out to you to get a little hand with all that.
yeah. It's a tricky thing. Like there's a knowledge graph, a claim panel, and all that stuff you can do.
I'll hit
But
you up.
it takes like for me at this point, like now it took many years, but like now you can actually find my pictures on Google. Before it was maybe just my name or IMDb. Now you can get the articles I've done,
Nice.
pictures. But I think it's just a matter of the algorithm. If it sees that people are searching you up and you're trending up, popular.
Yeah,
in a
yeah, I
sense,
get you.
it
Yeah.
picks you up. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we'll talk a little more about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'll hit you up. I know you got to run.
Yeah, but Rich, like I said, we always have a great time. You don't gotta go home, but you can stay here.
Yeah.
Thank you for another episode. We'll see
I
you guys in
appreciate you, man.
2024. And
Yeah.
like I always say, a helping hand. It's a better hand. Shout out to Rich.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
see you soon.
All right, man.